Just quickly before we get into the video, boss footage will be shown for the main bosses while discussing tier rankings. Enjoy. Recently I finished Lies of P Overture. Thought it would be fun to quickly do a tier list for all of the encounters for both base game and also Overture, including mini bosses as well, and I will be honest, some of them I had to look up. I could not remember some of them. Mad Donkey first. I mean, it's a decent encounter. It's just pretty run of the mill. So Puppet the Future, I feel like when you first fight this, it's actually decent. Obviously late game, because at the place where you fight two of them, you're quite strong by that point and they just get demolished. But I'm still going to put them as C. I might change some of this around as I start then adding more later. White Lady, personally I really enjoyed her. I did farm a lot of backstabs, but I feel like the whole design and the environment, it knocks up a bit. Okay, so this is Survivor. Where the hell do you fight? Oh yeah, he's the one where you go down the vent. Oh, I hated him. You're like, yeah, the spacing was in a tiny room. It was a little bit of an annoying fight. I think he just spammed like a move over and over. But it was early into the game. I wasn't very used to it, so maybe that's why I remember it was worse. Same really for like the Atoned. I'm going to put it as D, mostly because you can just completely skip this fight. Which I guess you can skip all of those, but I think I just, like, the first time I just spoke to him and just thought he was like some guy to like let you on the tram or something. Mad Clown Puppet. Now this one's actually really fun. I'm going to put that as top of B. The first time I actually fought him, I did struggle with him quite a bit. I was still getting used to the parry system. I remember I ran past him as well because obviously you don't actually need to fight him to go up to the next area. I feel like as a design, as a mini boss, he's got a lot of really good attacks. I like the one where he spins around. You can just get a lot of really nice parries on him. He doesn't really feel like he's too annoying or frustrating to fight. He's just well designed. Robber Weasel, cannot remember. I'm just going to put it in C. Walker of Illusions, I don't know to put that as B or A. I really like that it splits off into two. I think that's quite unique. Maybe, yeah, I'll put that as top of B, and then we'll see for that one. But that was quite nice. Oh yeah, and then Owl Doctor, I'll just put that as D. Oh yeah, oops, we've got Black Cat and the sister. I'm going to put them as C. The first time I didn't actually fight them. They're okay. So now we have only the bosses. The main bosses, that is. So Parade Master, I feel like Parade Master's a really good first boss. I'm going to put that at top of B. The moves are telegraphed really well. I feel like it's not too challenging as well for the first one. So then we have Scrapped Watchman. Honestly, I think I'm going to put this in A. It's probably going to end up as like the bottom of A, but I like that it has an ailment to it, or a status, whatever you want to call it. I like that it has... Wait, does Parade Master have a transition? I think it might, because it rips off its head. But I can't remember if that's... Yeah, no, Parade Master has a transition as well, but I feel like with Scrapped Watchman it's more prominent. The second encounter, or the second phase of it, knocks it up a lot. King's Flame, B tier. Maybe even C, honestly. I just feel like the encounter, like, I'll put it as bottom of B. Particularly the second phase, where he is just like doing ranged attacks at you, just spamming them, was kind of like eh. And then also it's got like a charge attack, but you can just step out of the way. I'm going to put it as top of C, honestly. It was kind of boring. The same, honestly, for Fallen Archbishop. I will put it as the top of C, though, because I think the fact that it's the first one, which has a completely new health bar, so like you think you're done with the fight, and then it's suddenly like, oh, there's another bit. That was interesting, and it's like, oh. But I think it was obviously the first health bar is like so easy, so you kind of suspect like, oh, maybe there's more. Eldest Black Rabbit, I think the first one is actually like alright. I'm gonna put it as B. Yeah, I think like the bottom of B. Actually no, it should, yeah, it's probably better than White Lady, because it is fun that they each step in and you can obviously like zerg on the main target to rush it down, but it's a decent introduction. Okay, now Romeo, and obviously the puppet form. God, I mean, this has to be high. I kind of think, so this is going to be top of A, and this is S tier. I think as a fight together, Romeo is S tier, but I do think that the first phase is a little bit weaker. Primarily, he does move around a little bit too much in the first phase, but the second phase is really fun. Ooh, Champion Victor. He's fun. I'm going to put A. Again, more so, this one doesn't have for phase 2. I guess he doesn't change too much, but yeah, I'd say phase 2 makes it a little bit more fun. He definitely stocks up a notch. Although I did find you can pretty much make him not trivial, but when he does like his charge attack, you can just step to the left and like avoid it. But otherwise, it's a fun fight. Swamp Monster. Ooh, yeah, this is going low. I personally didn't really enjoy it that much, and the second phase is kind of just, yeah, the second phase is whatever. I'm going to put it as the bottom of B at the moment. I think it's definitely better than these two here. Corrupted Parade Master. I mean, it's not really that much difference to the first Parade Master, but yeah, it's just going as B. I think Decay can be quite annoying, but the extra attacks what it does have can be nice. I think especially the one where it kind of goes down and then goes forward, like I think it's over a 3 or 4 hit combo. That one's quite nice to parry. Otherwise, yeah, it's not too different. I think it deserves a B. I'd probably still put the normal Parade Master higher than it. So that's the second Black Rabbit encounter. S tier. It's such a balanced fight. I think like the fact that you can choose when to engage with certain rabbits, and that they're really well spaced out between like the encounter, like area for the encounter. Also how they take turns as to who's going to engage, and you can tell that with their weapon because they use like a grindstone to enter, and then obviously once, I don't know if it's time based or damage based, but then obviously the big brother joins in again. Yeah, so it's a really cool fight. Door Guardian. I think it's probably top of A. I would say it's probably better than Parade Master, but it can also be quite annoying. And I'm just thinking back to when I died. If when you get the stagger on it and then it falls down first, I died to it falling down the first time because I think I was low HP, and obviously I didn't expect that it was, which is also kind of annoying when certain enemies like you'll get a stagger but they'll do a few extra hits. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but Laxia, she is definitely she's A tier. I would probably put both of her. Yeah, phase 2 is definitely better. Wait, is phase 2 better than phase 1? I don't. To be honest, they're about the same, but they're good. I definitely think obviously phase 2 knocks it up a lot. Phase 1 is easier, but phase 2 is more interesting. Phase 2 can be a little bit punishing. Yeah, I think A is fair for her. Definitely not as good as. I think that I don't really want to move them down because I'm keeping F tier 3 at the moment. I think there is kind of a gap between Romeo and unless I move Romeo up to S. Though, yeah, you know what? Yeah, Romeo can be S, and I'll put both of them together. Simon. Okay, so I actually wasn't a fan of this one. I think I'm gonna put his first encounter is like okay, but I think I'll put it as like A, and then I'll put his second encounter as B. Or I'm actually tempted to even put it as like first encounter as B and then second encounter as C. It was just okay, so with the second encounter, it was so annoying with all the extra effects going on. The hand attack that then you suddenly have to like the one that comes down from the sky and you're like moving away from it, and then also he's got the one where it's like just constantly shoots at you, and his roll, like he just gets so much distance with his roll, which also does attacks. And I found a lot of the times like I would go for an attack and he would move out of the way and be ages away, and then it's just like, as a design it's nice, but I just think actually find him was more frustrating. I'll put that as the bottom of B. Swamp Monster can go up a little bit as well, actually. Swamp Monster's definitely better than these two. Okay, now Nameless Puppet. Nameless Puppet, easy. S tier. I'd actually put it top of S tier. It's my favorite fight in the game. I feel like it is the best encounter for the kind of like dance of Lies of P, like the typical, you know, like parry, 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 attack, watching where you can get openings. It's got parts where it's like really quick, successful parries, and then parts where you have like delayed attacks, which I typically don't like, but I think Nameless Puppet is literally the best fight in the game. And spoilers, even with the DLC, I think it's still kind of that way. Romeo is a close second. Okay, so now we have the DLC bosses as well. Let's start with, yeah, if I start with the crocodile, probably, honestly, I'm just going to put him top of D. He's like, okay, I think the jaw attack especially, like when you parry it, it was fun, but it's just like, the camera is really annoying. The fight itself, like, it's such a big target, I don't know. I wasn't super of a fan. It could maybe move up to like C. In fact, I feel like that is actually a little bit more fair. Like, yeah, I'll put it bottom of C. So Markiona, it's either bottom of A or top of B. I think top of B, personally. So it has grown on me as an encounter, but I feel like the puppet is a bait, which is kind of annoying. It can be rewarding because obviously, so on my successful kill, I killed the puppet, which then had like a super long opening because she was then healing the puppet again. So it was like just free damage for a while. But it's also like if you actually go after the puppet, it's just really annoying because it just flies away like all the time. It was actually more so that I just happened to get the puppet low because it was like in the vicinity and it took AoE damage. Not AoE damage. Like, I damaged both at the same time. Okay, now Veronique, A. Bottom of A though. I don't think, actually no, it's better than Simon. It's better than Simon. I think I still prefer Door Guardian. You know, I'm not going to worry too much about the order of these, but yeah, I think A is solid. Two-Faced Overseer, A as well. I like that it transitions between the two phases based on being knocked down. I think that's quite interesting, but when it's in the red phase, it has a little bit too much aggro. The one move especially where it like pins you down and then like drags you across the floor, that whole kind of like combo thing goes on for like a little bit too long. The Green Hunter, I mean, it's basically just like the Swan Monster, but early on. I'll just put it as B. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to put it as C because it was really annoying that it bloody heals by eating you. Anguish Guardian, honestly, D. I just feel like most games don't really do big monsters very well. It was just annoying to fight, and a lot of times with big monsters, they take like one step and they're half the way across the map from you, so then you have to sprint after them, or they'll move or do something which, like, they're not actually trying to attack you, but because of their size you just take damage anyway. And I feel like this boss is unfortunate. I think if it was smaller by design, it would actually be a better fight. Lumachio, probably mispronounced that. I think that it is an encounter which will either be completely one of two ways for most people. I think it is on the cusp of being such a good fight. Like, okay, if it wasn't for the decay on the second phase, if it wasn't for slightly long combos on the first phase, if it wasn't for the immunity during the transitions of the phases, and I don't know, also it's really annoying that it has like, so it heals twice because you get the first heal, which is initial, and then you get the second heal, which does a lot. I would prefer just to have 2 health bars or to have a bigger health bar, and it, like, healing back in a fight just makes you feel like you've just basically done no progress. I actually really enjoy the first fight, the first, like, before he transforms. And yeah, I think if it wasn't for a couple things, it would probably actually be like a high A tier fight for me. But because of all those things, I'm putting in F. I think, unfortunately, there's just too much which, like, takes the fight just down. Decay is, like, such an annoying mechanic, and then it's kind of just a combination of everything. Honestly, it's, like, the worst fight in the game for me. Arlecchino, a little bit spam happy on phase 2. Phase 1 is amazing. I think phase 1 is very reminiscent of Nameless Puppet, and then I guess honestly phase 2 is very reminiscent of like phase 2 of Nameless Puppet as well. A little bit on spam happy, but for me personally, S tier as well. I think, yeah, I'd probably go like this if I was being like pedantic. I'd probably go like, I'd probably move him over, maybe actually just right next to Nameless Puppet. Yeah, so personally, this is my rankings. I'm very happy with this. If you let me know, obviously, if you disagree with any in the comments, what would you switch around? What are your favorites? What are your most hated? Also, yeah, just so you know, I am joking. Who the hell is going to put rabbits in S tier? This fight is god awful. Getting ganked is awful. I kept having multiple rabbits going on me, regardless of if I was actually like close to them. There's that one guy that would just pull you with the rope and just like drag you in, and then you'd get ganked again. This fight is literally the worst encounter in the game. But anyway, let me know what you think. Peace.